In this video, we will see a typical day at Komatsudani Japan, or daycare center. The video was shot in 2002. 18 years earlier, we made a video at Komatsudani as part of the original Preschool in Three Cultures study. In this video, you will see scenes of children arriving, origami, swimming, a fight over a teddy bear, lunch, nap, caring for babies and toddlers, free play, and departure, as well as a few scenes, for the sake of comparison, from the 1984 video. Komatsudani Japan is located on the grounds of a 400-year-old Buddhist temple on a hillside in Kyoto, Japan. The Japan, which is open from 7 in the morning until 6 at night, serves children from infancy through 6 years old. In 1999, the program moved out of its old location on the first floor of an aging building into new facilities built next door. Some children come to school on foot from the nearby neighborhood. Other children come by bus from neighborhoods farther away. Komatsudani started the bus service in the 1990s to keep their enrollment up in an era of falling birth rates. Children take their shoes off in the genkan, or entranceway, before entering the building. Morita-sensei, the teacher of the Tampopo, or dandelion class, for children 4 and 5 years old, arrives at school this day at 8:30. Here we see Nao-chan, the youngest child in the Tampopo class, holding onto her mother's hand, pleading with her to stay longer, as Morita-sensei encourages her to let go. A little after 9, the formal school day begins, with the Tampopo class lining up in 2 lines, one of girls and one of boys. At their teacher's direction, the children do paper, rock, scissors to determine which line gets to lead the way into the classroom. In the classroom, during free play, Nao and 3 other girls have an argument over a stuffed bear. Morita-sensei gathers the students to take enrollment. There are 17 children, a class size the directors at Komatsudani consider to be too low. The overall enrollment at Komatsudani has dropped since the mid-1980s, reflecting Japan's falling birth rate. Each day there is a teacher-led activity. Today's is making fish out of origami paper. Morita Sensei announces that it's time for swimming, and children change into their suits in the classroom. Back in the classroom, there's a second extended period of free play. Eventually, an argument breaks out among Nao-chan and some other girls over the teddy bear. From across the room, we hear Morita Sensei call out, "Hey there!" But she doesn't come over to break up the fight. Many Chinese and US viewers of this scene were critical of Morita Sensei's failure to intervene. When we asked her why she didn't intervene, Morita Sensei explained that she keeps a close eye on the children's fights and calls out to them if things are getting out of control or dangerous. But she emphasized that her intervening would interfere with the children's learning to handle their own disagreements. The director of a kindergarten in Kyoto pointed out that although the children's ways of dealing with disputes might look a bit harsh to adults, what we see here is a typically childlike solution to a childlike social problem. When teachers intervene too quickly, children miss out on opportunities to experience complex social interactions and to find their own childlike solutions. The solution the girls arrive at is for Nao-chan to promise in the future to share the bear and not attempt to keep it all to herself. Morita Sensei's approach here is almost exactly the same as the approach we found at Komatsudani 18 years earlier. In the 1995 videotape, we see Satoshi, in yellow, complain that Hiroki, in blue, has punched him. Satoshi then reaches out toward Hiroki with the ninja throwing star he has made with tinfoil, and Hiroki steps on Satoshi's hand. Midori, who's been watching, then comes to the rescue, drawing Satoshi away over to a group of girls, and explains, "Hiroki hit Satoshi and then stepped on his hand." A girl responds, "That always happens when you play with Hiroki. If you don't want to get hit, play with someone else." The classroom teacher, Fukui Sensei, who witnessed this whole scene, explained that she restrained herself from intervening in such disputes because to do so would be to give children the message that they can't handle their own disagreements. In 1985, when we asked Principal Yoshizawa about fighting in the preschool, he explained, "Fighting is not a problem. If there were no fights, that would be a problem. One of the most important things preschool can give young children is the opportunity to experience greater social complexity, including the experience of being in a fight." In 2005, Principal Yoshizawa, now retired, told us that in the intervening 20 years, parents have grown increasingly protective and fearful, and as a result, children are getting even fewer opportunities to experience social complexity away from the scrutiny and mediation of adults. Lunch is served each day in the cafeteria. In 1985, children ate box lunches brought from home. The hot lunch prepared at school is a change that appeals to working parents.
どこが一番可愛かった？
Nogami Sensei, the teacher of the 5-year-old class, has nap duty. In 1985, when we made the original video, Nogami Sensei was a student teacher at Komatsudani.
はい。じゃあおしまいにしようね。じゃあお布団に入っておやすみなさい。おやすみなさいたら小さい声で言ってほしいな。はい、おやすみなさい。
An hour later, the lights are turned back on, and the children change back into their school clothes, put away their bedding, and watch a cartoon before returning to the classroom. The 4 children in Nogami Sensei's class of 5-year-olds, who are this day's monitors, put on aprons and head downstairs to assist in the baby and toddler rooms. The videotape we shot at Komatsudani in 1985 shows some 5-year-old girls taking toddlers outside to play on the playground. In interviews we conducted in 1986, Assistant Director Higashino told us, "This activity gives the older children a chance they might not otherwise have to develop empathy, omoyari." Principal Yoshizawa explained that with the falling birth rate, the world of the contemporary Japanese child is shrinking, and many Japanese children don't get an opportunity to care for younger ones, and in this way, to develop empathy. In 1985, older children playing with and caring for babies was a practice the Komatsudani staff supported, but did not orchestrate. In 2000, the teachers and administrators at Komatsudani decided to institutionalize mixed-age interactions by having the older children take turns as helpers in the infant and toddler rooms. Here we see 5-year-old Kenichi teaching 20-month-old Taro how to use the urinal. Komatsudani's contemporary approach to mixed-age interactions is not found in most other Japanese preschools. However, the logic behind this practice is widely endorsed by Japanese early childhood education experts and by the teachers and directors of other Japanese preschools who've watched the Komatsudani video. One of the key findings of the original Preschool in 3 Cultures study was that preschools are relatively new social institutions charged with making sure young children are taught traditional cultural values. One of the traditional values that is perceived to be at risk among contemporary Japanese young people is omoyari, the ability and willingness to understand and respond to the feelings and needs of others. The rest of the afternoon is unstructured. The 4- and 5-year-old children move back and forth between Morita Sensei's and Nogami Sensei's classrooms. Nogami Sensei, an avid supporter of the Japanese national soccer team in that summer's World Cup, sits on the floor with a set of marking pens. Children approach him one at a time and put their heads in his lap, so he can draw on their cheeks the flag of their favorite soccer-playing country. Here we will see Yuki accidentally punch Maki and then apologize. Morita Sensei announces it's cleanup time. Children scurry around the room, putting away toys, organizing their backpacks, and lining up the chairs along the far wall. The children exit the building, put on their shoes, and head for the playground, where Morita-sensei dismisses class, ending the formal school day. It is now 4 p.m. Children get picked up by parents and grandparents throughout the afternoon. Some of the older children join Morita-sensei inside to play with the babies and toddlers. It's 5 in the evening and Morita-sensei heads home.